Hello and welcome to Old Faithful. I'm your host, Matt Trask. My thanks to Perfect Wave Production, Scott and Steve down here. My thanks to, never mind, please support my friends at Black Hills Blend Espresso, even though we're not featuring their coffee on the show. I want to thank my guest today. I wanted this guy and his guitar on the show before I started the show. This is another dream come true. This guy is as country as a 5-weight steer. And I've said before how I thought, and you like that one?
I do like that one. That's pretty good.
I've said before how I thought in the first year of this show it was going to be an endless procession of Taylors. And we have had some Taylors on the show, and I love them. They're great guitars. Most of them that are in circulation right now have hardly got the new plate off them. Ladies and gentlemen, if this one ain't vintage in years, it's vintage in miles.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chance Dennis, it's so nice to have you on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate
Why don't you go ahead and tell us about you?
Oh, about me or about the guitar?
Well, both, however you want to do it.
Well, I am Chance. We've already established that, I guess. And what was it when I started playing? I think I started playing at 12. My dad was a guitar player, and he could get more mileage out of 3 chords in a minor than anybody ever met.
Right.
You know, he taught me the very, very basics, and he's one of the few people, he's a better guitar player now than when he taught me. So we both kind of improved together, and I had an old, miserable, hard-playing Sigma of his that I very first started learning on, and it wasn't very long. He had a nice Yari Alvarez guitar, so whenever he wasn't looking, I'd pick it up and play it. And it didn't take very long, and it was obvious that this was going to stick. I was going to play guitar, and he said, "You got to have a better guitar."
Right.
So he took me in at that time. They're not even here anymore, but what was the place down here on St. Joe? Snyder's.
Snyder's.
It was when Snyder's still in business. And we picked up a little cutaway, another Sigma.
Okay.
And man, I just played the snot out of it, you know, and it was just getting beat up. And I don't remember at that time. I think I probably gave $400 for it.
He played the snot out of it, fellas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just all the time, you know.
Right.
I played all the time. And probably played it for about 4 years. And again, it got pretty obvious that I needed more guitar than I had. So, weird story, Dad had been working at the Sturgis Sale Barn.
Okay.
And he was buying yearlings that summer, and I had just a savings account that I'd had since I was a kid. And he took whatever little bit of money I had in there and invested it in cattle right along with him. And we sold steers that fall. As it turned out, I made quite a little money. You know, it turned out pretty good. So he'd come to me and said, "If you want a new guitar, you know, me and Mom are okay with you want to spend that money and get you something pretty nice." So fast forward, we didn't do it right away. We went on just an outing, me and Dad, and I might have been Rick Smiley of all people.
Right.
And Doyle Dykes was performing in Rapid. He was sponsoring Taylor Guitars at that time.
Sure.
So we went and watched him, and I was floored. I mean, I didn't know those things could be done on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
It was unheard of. I mean, I was, at this point, you know, I was into rock music. You know, I loved anything fast, hard, a lot of bending strings, more noise the better. And I go to this guy that, you know, was barely even plugged in. I mean, just blow you away. Well, I was pretty sold on Taylors at that point.
Right.
So it was probably 2 months later, we were in there, and we found this guitar, which is a 412 CE Taylor.
Yeah.
Not that I remember that, I'm not a gearhead. Anyway, so we bought this guitar, and man, I just was prouder than peacock of this guitar. You know, everybody that I could about get their attention, I wanted to see this beautiful guitar I'd got.
Right.
Until I got it home.
Right.
I bet it took 3 months before this felt natural. I mean, this neck was wider than my old one, the scale was slightly different, and everything I kind of knew was weird.
Yeah.
everything but hated this guitar forever. But of course, you know, you'd spent, you know, $1,800 on it, you're not going to throw it away.
Right.
So I kept playing it, and eventually got to where it just was the only thing I had. You know, electrics came and went. I played electric a little when I was young, never did stick, but this guitar was always around. In the process of this time frame, it's been drugged through every campsite, every bonfire, you know, that you could possibly be. And I think I was 16 when I bought it, so it must push it right at 20 years old now, 21.
Okay.
Considering the fact it was a year old when I got it.
Old enough to drink now.
Oh, it's old enough to drink now. Maybe I'll buy it one just because.
Maybe.
But I don't know the history of these guitars nearly as well, but I was visiting with Clay Chilkey, and he was playing it, which if you ever get a chance to watch Clay play, he's pretty phenomenal. Pretty phenomenal is an understatement. He was telling me that these guitars, you can't even get this finish anymore. California state law has changed and the finish they used on this guitar is now illegal to put on. So we need these new Taylors. It's a different coating,
Okay.
whatever they use to finish these, which I thought was pretty interesting. And it breaks down quicker,
Right?
which is a good thing and a bad. I mean, I guess quicker it breaks down, the better you get that aged sound out of them. But
Well, the thinner the finish, the thinking goes, the more resonant the guitar
right,
will be.
exactly.
And with play, you wear some of it off.
Yep.
I can take over and pretend to be an expert. And by the way, me and Chance go way back.
Way back.
I've
Matt was
known
one of the
him.
guys taught me to play.
We used to be neighbors. I hope we're fitting all of the cowboy hats in the shop, actually. But I'll go ahead and put my expert hat on. So we got a Sitka spruce top, I do believe.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure it's spruce. Yeah.
rosewood back and sides. And
Okay.
we're going to, and a mahogany neck.
Yep.
We're going to talk more about the wear, but this ebony fretboard is hardly showing anywhere at all. One of the beautiful things about an ebony fretboard.
Well, and it's funny because I have had to take this in at least, I think these frets, maybe all of them, I don't remember.
Right.
I had to have them reshaped,
Sure.
you know. And this guitar, they told me when I bought it, oh, you got to humidify them and that, this and that, and go ahead and tell that to a 16-year-old kid. Oh, okay. You know, in one ear and out the other.
Right.
Well, over the years, you know, yeah, it did. It had some effects. You know, I
Right.
never humidified it properly. I just played it all the time, but I never humidified it properly to where it's not. It's got just a touch around left, but it has the opposite problem of getting too high. It gets too low. The body wants to crush in
Okay.
just a little bit, not enough to where you can't use it.
Right.
But and I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not. But we got serious cracking here, in here, in here. And there's a pretty good gash there. I don't know. I think it's pretty normal for a 20-year-old guitar.
Right.
You know, because they get beat up when you take them all the time
Sure.
to play them. But yeah, I don't know now. I can't see in there, but I think it has at least 4. I think there's spruce cleats glued in there
Oh, on the top.
on the top, and I think
Okay.
there might be one in the back too, because I know you can't see them in the camera.
Oh,
but
wow.
There's a solid crack here. There's another one there. I don't think there's any new ones. I think it's been about 3 years since his last trip in.
Uh-huh.
But
And you've had the frets reshaped, you haven't had it refret?
nope, it's never been refretted, but they did go in and reshape at least
Okay.
these particular frets, you know, where
Right.
you know, for whatever reason that lick gets used a lot.
Right.
And I kind of crowned them, the round of my
Oh,
frets
sure.
off there.
Okay.
So they did have to reshape them at one point.
What size of strings do you usually use?
For years I ran ultralights because that's what Dad did.
Okay.
Now I just run a regular set of lights as recommended by Taylor.
Okay.
Not that Taylor's wouldn't support a set of mediums.
Right.
But I'm a weenie. If you get too heavy, they hurt my fingers. And for whatever reason, I have a very aggressive playing style.
Right.
And I grab the hell out of a set of strings and I whack the hell out of a set. And the mediums just chew my fingers up that much worse.
As B.B. King supposedly told Billy Gibbons one time, man, why are you working so hard?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, you know. And it's God forbid you get a little beer in me, and we
Right.
get to play in some place, and I get to playing behind somebody, man. I'll just thrash the calluses on the edge of your fingers.
Oh, wow.
Just pushing and playing.
Right.
And it's fun, but the next day you're like, I'm not going to play anything for about 3 days until the feeling comes back.
Is this the original nut?
It must be, because if you look, I got a little tiny piece of paper in there.
Oh, look at there.
Holding that puppy up so she
Okay.
don't buzz. And I do think, though, and I'm not certain, that they did have to go in here and work to keep, what's the word, intonation?
Intonation.
Intonation,
Yeah.
to keep the intonation right
Okay.
there a few years ago. So, I guess so.
Now, you do some session work, local session
Yeah,
work.
I have.
Particularly for your dad. Would you still take this?
Boy, it depends. I think so.
Okay.
You know, it seems like in some of them guys, when they're recording, they want about as bright as you can get, because
Right.
they can tweak that
Right.
once they get in the studio, and
Yeah.
they want as much as they can get. But anyway, back on session work, yeah. And this was the only guitar I had for a while. It has done a little session work, and
Right.
I've never done enough of it to even speak like I know something about session work.
Right, yeah. But it's still your guitar.
It
and
is,
You can
yep.
take it along.
Yep.
You've retired it from performing. As
Yep, a
we
little bit, yep.
talked about already. And you performed with the Martin. I saw you at a Christmas show.
Yep.
Last winter. It was
Yeah,
a
I
very
did.
nice Christmas show. I can't remember now. Did you just mic it?
We did, Mike. Well,
Okay.
I had bought one of the pickups, and then
Okay.
as it turned out, with the setup we had, the cord wasn't long enough to get me to a mic.
Oh,
It wasn't gonna work.
Right.
So as we ended up, I think we just had kind of a surround mic that was picking up. And
Okay.
the idea was that I was supposed to be pretty quiet anyway. We
Right.
had two of our lovely ladies in the community singing,
Right.
and they wanted just a touch of guitar in the background.
sure.
You know, so it worked out that way.
Right.
But
Awesome. Well, why don't I close up this little pony show?
Okay.
And then you can play us a song on your, really, the epitome of Old Faithful.
the old wore out Taylor.
Old wore out Taylor.
that
Thank
still
you.
sounds pretty cool.
Thank you so much for bringing
You
it
bet.
on
Thanks
my
for having
show.
me.
Remember my sponsorship with Trask Hay LLC. You might want to pay attention to this.
The Trask Hay
Large,
LLC.
round, and square bales. 515-0858. Tyler Childers says, change your strength.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chance Tip.
Thanks.
Right, yeah.
First time we heard it, I'm like, man, I gotta learn that. Swear I see it in my dreams sometimes. Caught up in the middle of the night, shaking like a pistol in a young man's hand, there in the pale moonlight. Standing on the top of that lonely hill, shared by the company mine. Blue-eyed baby with the best dress on in the shadow of a lonely pine. Back before the war when the company came, these hills grew wild and free. Me and my baby'd hide in the hollows low, away from the cruel sun's heat. Then they knocked down the building, then they burned off the brush, give to the richest below. When they pulled out, they left a cold dark ground, one pine standing alone. Take me home, Lone Pine Hill. I signed up in '61, Army of Virginia man. Some nicest to McConaughey, all the way to Sail the Street, fighting for my homeland. 4 years gone and all hope lost, Richmond's under siege. Digging out 5 folks fighting in the rain, Sheridan he brought us to our knees. Take me home, Lone Pine Hill. There's a strange moon hanging overhead tonight. Rain keeps coming and the creek's gonna rise. With the good Lord's grace, I'll make it out of this place. I'll be in your arms come the morning light, I swear. God grant me speed, give me forgiveness, carry me on through the night. Take me from your hills and over your rivers, away from this god-awful fight. Never known a man that's ever owned another, never owned nothing of my own. For 4 long years I just can't tell you what the hell we've been fighting for. Take me home, Lone Pine Hill. Thanks.